Okay. Hi, everyone. Just had a little growl from Gary. This is Macy, Love Coach Macy, also known as Reverend Lunch Lady. And today's Love and Lattes is about attracting trustworthy partners. How do we do that? And how do we cultivate that trust within ourselves? So I am so glad you're here, and I have my whole family with me. If you can see, Gary's there. Buttery Waffle, or Waffle House, is here. He's our new family member, and there's Meatball over there, tiny little chihuahua. So if there's some chaos at all, that's what's happening. So today I have 3 areas that I want to focus on for how you attract a trustworthy partner. I mean, I know many of you have probably felt like you've been let down, betrayed, lied to, cheated on, any of those things that start eroding trust in our relationship space, which then makes it really hard to date again because we're looking extra hard for red flags or the signs to make sure we don't do that again. The other level of this is that ability to be able to trust our own picker, to be able to pick people who are trustworthy. And how do we know that? So I want to dive into it because really the core of this and the core of so much of the love attraction stuff comes from just being really honest. And I noticed this in my own journey that there was, if someone asked me 10 years ago, 15 years ago, are you an honest person? I would say absolutely 100%. I'm honest. I'm transparent, blah, blah, blah. But now looking back, there's so many ways that I wasn't being completely honest with myself. And so I'm going to go through 3 different areas that then as you're listening, just listen into, is this, how honest am I in this area of my life? So if you are new to this page and you haven't liked the page and you are a single woman who wants to create meaningful love in her life, then please like the page so that you get notices for future videos. I really shouldn't be holding this. I know it's probably really annoying to watch. But anyway, so let's go through the 3 areas. So the first one is with our spirit, with our soul. So how honest are we being with our spirit? And what does that mean? So, for example, I always knew that I wanted to do something that was meaningful, that helped people, that was in service of a greater good in my life. And I continuously stuffed it down because in my mind, I couldn't figure out how I could make that happen, because I thought, oh, well, you got to be surviving, you have to have a regular paycheck from someone, like all of these, you have to have health insurance, like all of these things made it fearful for me to think about that. And really, I was denying the message that was coming through my spirit for a long time. So how are you listening to your soul in your life? How are you honestly trusting what you hear when you listen? So that's a big one, because you can hear things or sense things or have like a heartfelt nudge and still just deny it or not even trust yourself. So then you're creating this lack of trust within you. And when you have this lack of trust within you, then the only thing that you can really see on the external world is a lack of trust. So then people will show up in your life that are going to continuously mirror that. So, people who, you may have experienced that betray you, deceive you, like aren't really honest with you. So that's the first level, that relationship with spirit. And we'll talk about, some of the ways that you can cultivate that. And I guess we can talk about that now. So how do you cultivate that relationship with your spirit? Meditation is a powerful practice. I actually did teach 2 meditation Mondays ago, a meditation around trust that is good for all of the stuff we're talking about today. You'll see that I have a unicorn headband on and my arms are up in the air. That's a really good practice to do. But really one of the ways to practice is just really starting to test it out. Like as you get sort of, intuition hits, like senses, check in on that and see where it's true. Like ask yourself, sometimes, I'll get a sense that I need to call someone, and if you actually follow through with that and play with that, you can start getting that sort of validation that you can trust your spirit. So the second level sounds probably very similar, but it is honesty with yourself. And this one is a little different than the spirit because it's more about like how you make promises with yourself and are you following through with those. So if you are telling yourself, I'm going to go to yoga twice a week and then you just don't, then within you is a broken promise. So how can you be more and more in that level of commitment with yourself? So do you do that? Are you saying, I'm not going to, I'm not going to eat sugar for a week, and then you break that promise within like a day, something like that. Like any of those things, are you keeping your word with yourself? So that's a really big one overall. The other level of this one is, are you feeling, and this is sort of spirit and with yourself, are you feeling like you really do want a meaningful relationship and you're not really doing anything about it? Are you feeling that and then saying stuff like, oh, well, I'll just let it happen. Oh, well, if it's meant to be, it'll be. And sort of denying or pushing away that inner desire that inner pull. So that might be more spirit too. But really being able to listen to yourself. And the other piece that goes along with that in terms of dating is like, really, what is it that you want? Are you willing to honestly listen to what it is that you want in relationship and not let your mind come in and say, oh no, you can't have that. Oh no, that's too much. So this is huge in terms of your vision of love, to be able to really focus in and say, what is it that I truly would love to have in my life in love? Would I like someone who, well, here's one that I had that I felt a little ashamed of, actually. One of mine was that if I was really honest with myself, I actually didn't really want someone who had kids. You know, I was already 42, and I knew I didn't really want to have kids. And if I was 100% honest with myself, I didn't want anyone else who had kids, because that's just not the lifestyle I wanted. So for years before that, I thought I had to say, okay, well, I better keep my net wide, and, you know, if they have kids, then, you know, we'll figure it out. And certainly, if I had met someone who really felt super connected to me, and like I really did see a life with this person, and they had kids, that may have been different. I would have had the option to say something different. But I'm talking about, like, what's that true vision for you? How can you be so honest with yourself and what it is that your lifestyle, your values, your personality really truly would like? And let go of anything that wants to tell you that that's not possible. So I hope you're taking notes on that one, because that one is a really big one. So really then, for this piece, going back to your vision, if you've journaled about it or done a vision board or anything like that, and go through and do a quality check. You know, am I being totally honest with myself here? Or is this a compromise or a second level or kind of dumbed down version, because I let my mind, my inner critics come in and say, well, what you really want is not possible, so you're going to have something else. Here's what I think you can have. And, you know, on the healing plane, then there's a worthiness thing that can be nurtured and looked at, so that, you know, you can up level into the space of, okay, this is what I want. So far we've talked about, you know, honesty with your spirit, honesty with yourself. And then the third one is honesty with others. So do you follow your word? This one's pretty simple. 4 agreements. You know, can you be impeccable with your word? And when you say you're going to follow through, do you do that? When you say, you know, you're going to check in, do you do that? Like, you know, how are you true to your word? Or do you just say things that you don't really intend to do? So this one is extra important with dating too, because I know one of the things that, you know, we're so scared of. Hey, oh yay, thanks for joining. One of the things so many women are scared of, or dread, or resist, or just don't even want to date because they're so afraid of the rejection piece, like of being rejected. Well, one of the things we forget is part of dating too is basically rejecting others when they're not right for us. So it's really like in this third one about honesty with others, one of the things that we have to be courageous in is to be able to be honest when something isn't aligning. And instead of like saying, oh, well, he really likes me a lot and I'm not really into it, we'll just see. And then we're just sort of like maybe, you know, feeding them crumbs or just dragging them along or just keeping them on the back burner because we're not really sure what else is coming. Like, how can we get to something really honest faster? One of my mentors, the amazing Sark, says, let's tell the truth faster. And that is such a great thing to remember in the dating world, because how can we just be telling the truth faster? How can we say to someone when we know, hey, this doesn't feel right to me, You seem like a nice person. I enjoy your company. But if I'm really honest, this isn't going to work for me. So being honest with others in all cases is going to help you cultivate what we are here for, is to cultivate the ability to attract trustworthy people, because you are that. So following your word is going to be huge. And that takes a lot of courage to do that in dating. But it also takes, a real level of commitment to your own, integrity and trustworthiness for people around you. So those are the 3 areas. So if you want to attract someone trustworthy, it starts with you. And I know that that's probably not a surprise if any of you have listened to me before. But the way we do that is we are super honest. You're honest with your soul. You're honest with yourself. You're honest with what is present. And, sometimes with that one, like when you're honest with just what is for you, it still can potentially, maybe change. And then you get to be honest with that. So not thinking that you have to have what I call the big red bow, which is to have everything figured out. Certainly in the dating world, it can be, there can be a tendency to want to just know. I want to know, are you trustworthy? I want to know, are you my person? I want to know, is this going to work out? You got to let go of that. You got to be able to just be honest with what is present in the moment, what's in the field right now, what's in your heart, what's aligning with spirit and what you know in that moment. That's all you can do, and make the best decision you can make from there, from a place of love, not fear, place of love, kindness, and integrity. Because I really believe in that. And we've talked about love versus fear before. That's a big part of this too, because a lot of times the reason why we're not honest, especially in that last category, honesty with others, we're not honest with another person because we're afraid that, oh my gosh, there's not going to be another one, or this might be it. So we let the fear come in, and then we are like hoarding this person in our experience in case. But we are being untrustworthy at that point. So if you don't want to attract people who deceive you, you've got to start being honest in all of these ways. Now, will you still probably meet someone who isn't aligned or isn't being totally honest? Probably. But I think that the truth is that, it really is about how we are modeling it for ourselves. And it's going to feel really a lot better within ourselves. Just being in integrity with who we are, what we want and need, and what's present with others. So, I hope that was helpful. Will you comment and let me know what nuggets were like ringing with you, or are there questions? Let me know if there are questions. And a reminder that I did a meditation on trust a couple weeks ago. You can go back to that and do that meditation. Super powerful thing to help you take this even deeper. So thanks for being here. Introduce yourself. I'd love to know who is here. All right. Bye.